Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to our session. Today, we're going to be talking about de-risking SAP S/4HANA migrations and how you can get smarter, better, cleaner data using the combination of Precisely's Automate Studio and Data360 Analyze. I'm Andrew Hayden. I'm the Principal Product Marketing Manager for the Automate products here at Precisely, and I will be your host today. And in a little while, I will be joined by Philip Jerkowski, who is one of our outstanding sales engineers, who's going to give you a really great, impactful demo of what this combination of Studio and Data360 Analyze looks like and what it can do for you. He's going to give you a really great overview of how that can happen. All right, so before we get there, what are we going to talk about? Well, I'm going to start off talking a little bit about the CIO's dilemma and what are the challenges that CXOs are seeing around not just this SAP S/4HANA migration and growth that you're seeing, but really in a larger sense, what's happening across our IT environments. Because we're often starting with that SAP migration, but it's growing in and it's really affecting our overall IT strategy. I'm going to talk about some of those specific challenges in that SAP modernization. And really, we're going to focus, for the sake of the demonstration, on two of those challenges. And when we get there, I'll talk about those. Then I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Precisely Automate portfolio, what it is, how we can help you. And then I'll turn it over to Philip, and he's going to show you that really fantastic demonstration to really show you what that combination of Automate Studio and Data360 Analyze can do, especially during that migration phase where we often struggle with the SAP tools to cleanse our data and do that data transformation and enrich it as it goes through that migration process, as we're moving it from ECC to S/4HANA. Once that's done, I'll do a quick wrap up and tell you a little bit more about Precisely. All right, so let's talk about that CIO's dilemma and some of the complex challenges that we see. Now, we have done SAP automation for over 20 years. I think we've done it for about 22 years. And over that time, we've really come to understand what are the things that kind of keep people awake at night? What do they worry about? And right now, we're seeing a lot of angst really around these three areas. One is just our overall business environment. We're in a highly disrupted environment for many different reasons, whether it's geopolitical reasons, whether it's supply chain issues, whether it's geography, whether it's weather, all those kind of things are really affecting what's happening within our businesses. And they do tend to keep us awake. And so many more companies now are relying on IT to solve a lot of those problems, to help them drive efficiency into processes. On top of this, our C-level executives are just getting bombarded with information about AI and the promises that are being made to AI. And what we see is an awful lot of companies hearing these promises and turning into guinea pigs for the companies that are creating AI solutions. We don't believe in that, really. I think if you look at what Precisely is bringing out from an AI solution standpoint, we're really focused on delivering practical benefits and practical value to your business. But we do understand that AI is the future. And one of the things you'll see, I think, when you think about the need for clean, trustworthy data as you move from ECC to S/4HANA is the importance of something like this combination of Automate Studio and Data360 Analyze. And again, you'll see that in the demonstration. And finally, it's this overall SAP modernization, which tends to sit at the heart of your larger IT modernization. But in many cases, it is over budget, it is late. There's a company named Horvath that did a survey that found that 60% of their respondents were running into, they were either delayed in getting that migration to happen or they were over budget. So huge resource intense processes that are happening. And there's a lot of resources being just used up as you make that SAP migration. What this creates is a lot of tension between today and tomorrow. Because today, obviously, you have to keep your business running. There's a lot of continuity that has to happen. And from a CIO's perspective, you're trying to go from having these long IT lead times where you often are the bottleneck to really having agile innovation, being able to move very quickly and meet the needs of your business as this pace of change accelerates constantly. You want to go from manual processes to scalable automation. And one of the things that Automate is known for, and one of the things we've built our business on, is this ability for you to scale automation across your organization with a very, very powerful no-code, low-code automation platform. And then there's this whole issue, especially as we get into AI, around fragmented, poor quality data and the need to have high quality data, trustworthy data that you can use to make those data-driven insights, to use to feed AI engines and get reliable non-hallucinogenic results out of it. So I think these are important things that we're all dealing with and that all of our CIOs are going through. Now, specific to SAP S/4HANA migration, we often see a lot of things just get way out of whack. ASUG does a tremendous amount of really good research. And if you're not a member of ASUG, I recommend joining. If for nothing else, their research that they have available, their insights are just fantastic. But they found that 49%, so almost 50% of their respondents indicated they're exceeding their original budget. So this goes back to, lines up a lot with what Horvath found. Consulting fees, huge increases in consulting fees that they're running into that Dun & Bradstreet found in research they did. And going back to ASUG, average timeline for migration is 1.5 years. It can go up to 6 years. So massive amount of time, again, huge amounts of money and long timelines with lots of resources being used to make that migration from ECC to S/4HANA. I mean, this is the heart of our business, and we want to make sure we do it right and get it right. And this is why the data within those systems is so important. And the data migration challenges really run the gamut of a lot of different things. Duplicate, missing, or inconsistent records. You've got incorrect formatting and outdated values, complex ETL processes. And we've talked to a lot of customers that run into these challenges around ETL, where they've got a lot of transformations they need to do, and they find that the standard SAP tools don't work for it, especially if you've got a lot of Z transactions and custom transactions that you want to put into S/4HANA in a clean core format and maintain clean core. A lot of work there. Again, the combination you're going to see, even though we're not going to necessarily use it talk about it in that context, Studio plus Data360 Analyze is a really good way to standardize a lot of those custom transactions you've got. Automate overall, the Automate platform is a really good way if you still want to keep that as a custom process, but deliver standard data and keep a clean core in SAP S/4HANA, we can help you do that too. You've got performance bottlenecks. You've got compliance risk. SOX audits are a big thing, and failing one really is bad. And then error propagation. When something is bad in one area, it tends to keep going because of the way that data gets used across your various systems, whether it's within SAP or whether it's going between SAP and other systems as well. And this leads to some of these modernization challenges that I talked about earlier. Now, like I said, we're only going to focus on 2 of them today. I can easily, off the top of my head, list a dozen or more just when it comes to these modernization challenges from ECC to S/4HANA. The 2 we're talking about, data quality issues in SAP ECC transferring to S/4HANA. You want to make sure that the data that goes into your S/4HANA system or is in your S/4HANA system when you go live is as clean and pristine as possible. There's a couple of different ways to do this. One is to cleanse that data. One is to start greenfield. But I think even if you're doing a greenfield implementation, there still is a lot of legacy data that you do want to bring with you. If you've got complex processes, if you've got a long history, you want to make sure that data is as clean as possible. And then that other one I mentioned, Z transactions and custom transactions, and that need to be able to transform the data from ECC to S/4HANA. And one of the other ones, which I don't have listed here, is if you've got multiple ECC systems that you are consolidating into a single instance of S/4HANA. And maybe what you've got is you've acquired a number of those systems. So let's say you've got 3 legacy systems that are your own that you're putting in. Those move fairly easily, but maybe you've acquired 3 other companies and their ECC systems had different formatting and different ways of looking at the data and different processes, and you want to standardize everything in S/4HANA. That's a big challenge. I talked to a guy about 1.5 years ago. Very large company, they had this exact problem. They were able to move their legacy systems very quickly and very easily. It was those newer systems that they'd acquired which were giving them headaches. So the solution you're going to see today is a really great way to address that. And how do we do this? Well, the core of the Precisely Automate portfolio is these 2 products. It's Automate Studio, which is a desktop Excel to SAP automation tool, if you will. But it works itself. It works across SAP. And what it is able to do is not only work across ECC, but it can work across S/4HANA. So if you're working in the SAP GUI in ECC, and then you're going to move to either the web GUI or Fiori, it can work across all three of those interfaces. So it really can help you with change management struggles you might have, and making sure that your workers who are working in Excel continue to work in Excel. And what it allows them to do is Excel becomes that front end for SAP. It becomes the way that they create and manage SAP data in a governed, regulated fashion. So very great, very powerful tool for mass data changes, data uploads, things of that nature. So if you've got pricing changes or condition changes or hierarchies you need to adjust on a very large scale, say you've got 100,000 customers, you want to change their, net payable date or net due date from 30 days to 45 days. Let's give them a little more time to pay their bills. You can do those 100,000 customers all at once in Studio very quickly, and keep a record of not only that happened, that change happened, but what the old one was, when it happened, who made it, everything else. So guided, regulated, governed, very important in Studio. Automate Evolve is our complete automation form and workflow platform. So it really is perfect for those complex data-intensive processes that often require not only lots of different data, but lots of different data to be either created, input, or reviewed by multiple people across your organization. So those complex workflow processes that we have in SAP, Automate Evolve is outstanding for doing those. And it's a really great way if you want to maintain what I mentioned earlier, those custom processes in an orchestration layer outside of SAP. So the process continues to be custom. The data that gets delivered into your S/4HANA system is standard data. So you've got you maintain a clean core while you are able to adjust your processes to your business as needed. So that's how we do it. And that's how we really drive efficiencies across your entire SAP landscape. Like I said, whether it's ECC or S/4HANA or both, or many other things. And in addition, you can use Studio can work similar way as a last mile bot for mass data in and out of SAP. And Evolve is a really great way of integrating with other systems. Like if you're doing customer data and you need SAP and Salesforce data to work together, we can integrate those very, very simply and very, very cleanly. But today, what we're going to focus on is that Automate Studio plus Data360 Analyze. Now, Automate Studio, one of the great things that we've always talked about, and this has, again, been around for about 20 years, more than 20 years, is a very simple three-step process: record, map, run. That's all it is. Now, when you're going from ECC to S/4HANA and you're using Studio and Data360 Analyze, it still is a very simple three-step process. You're going to use Studio to extract the data. You're going to use Data360 Analyze to cleanse, transform, and enrich that data. And then you're going to use Studio again to post that clean data into your S/4HANA system. And this same system can continue to work if you want to go to continue to cleanse your data in S/4HANA. It's very simple to be able to cleanse it in S/4HANA or extract it out of S/4HANA, cleanse it, and post it back into S/4HANA. So if you've got a regular data maintenance that you want to be able to do, this combination will continue to work for you. So it's not just for migration, it's for the long haul as you want to use it in your organization. So some really quick benefits that you're going to get from this combination of Automate Studio and Data360 Analyze. Clean and accurate data in your S/4HANA system from day one, from go live. And again, ongoing over time. Faster, more efficient migration. Again, this is a very quick way to move a lot of data. And if you've got a systems integrator who's just doing the technical upgrade and they're not doing that data migration, for your business teams who know their data and know their processes, this is a very, very powerful and simple way to be able to make that transition and get the data that you want in the form you want it and in the format you want it into S/4HANA. It's going to improve your SAP, obviously, performance and reporting, give you a lot of ongoing capabilities. As I mentioned, you've got compliance and security risks. You're going to be able to really, reduce those through this process. Ultimately, you're going to get better business results and operational efficiency. So now I'm going to turn it over to Philip, and Philip is going to give you just an outstanding demonstration of what this combination can do for you and for your business. Philip?
Hi everyone, welcome to the session today. My name is Philip, and I'm going to guide you to the topic today of how you can improve the data quality during the SAP S4 migration. for which purpose we're going to use the two Precisely tools, Precisely Automate Studio and Precisely Data360 Analyze. And the process is going to be simple in 3 steps, just like the traditional way of doing it, with cleansing the data, enriching, and then pushing it back to S4. So, welcome on the session today, as we're going to explore the typical use case for supporting the journey of data migration, where we are going to cleanse the data with this product and then in 3 steps do the following: cleanse the data, enrich it, and send it to S4. So for that purpose, I'm going to come here in this a so-called flow. And on this flow, we are having, as you can see here, a couple of nodes which are available on this platform. You can find them here on the left side, and each of the nodes represent a special capability that is offered in this solution. As you can see, we have input connectors, aggregational and transformational nodes, correlational nodes, and so on. So to start this demonstration today, we're going to start first with the first step, which is extracting the data out of Studio. And for that purpose, we have this consolidated node here, which will create the data by calling it from the Studio Excel file where it is consolidated, so we can pull the data inside of this platform. And once that is done, we can see here that we have 707 records pulled, and you can always click and see the data that you have brought into this solution here. So for that purpose, we are seeing here the data, and of course we have a lot of duplications, error data which is not ready yet, a lot of white spaces, and so on. But before I even continue forward, we can jump quickly in the data profiler, where you can click actually and see in detail that it can actually give you an overview of the data, like what kind of data you're dealing here with, what kind of validation Unicode it has, minimum, maximum value. So in terms of like, we can wrap it like a psychology for the data. Any type of definition what you're dealing with, you can find here with the data. So furthermore, of the 707 records uploaded, we can come and actually proceed to the next node, which is removing duplicates node, which you can find here in the transformational part. And this node actually contains all of the elements in that Excel file that we have brought, and all the columns are marked to actually run and deduplicate the records, where we are removing the duplicates from 707 to 127 here, and as you can see. But the data is still not there yet, because we have to trim the white fields and then enrich it. So after the trimming of white spaces, the data becomes more reliable, and all we need to do is now to enrich the data, which you can see here on the right side of this Excel. It's an empty sheet which we need to fulfill, because these are going to be the future S4 details. So in this consolidated node here, we have the elements that can enrich the node, as you can see, which are coming from one source of value consolidated in a couple of joins. And then there is like a specific transformational node which has in Python code to ensure that every address on the way for the postal code will be taken into consideration to actually match the parsing postcode for the addresses. And with that, when we click here, we can see that the data has been enriched for the sales organization, distribution channel, division, and also the corresponding postal codes out there. So once that is done, what is being left is also the part of the sales office group, shipping conditions, and text classifications, for which we have this consolidated node containing an HTTP call for a JSON, which is another form of API, which will then actually call and enrich our data for these units. And furthermore, once everything has been fully enriched, we can click here and have a see that everything has been fulfilled and the data now is being into the second step, which is enriched, and now is ready to be pushed to S4. And for that purpose, we need to reorder the fields so we can match the current columns to the corresponding mapped columns for the Excel file where the Studio script is going to execute. And that comes to the latest part where we are going to actually execute the whole cleansed, enriched Excel with the full data, which is cleansed, enriched, and fully qualified to the Excel. And that will push to the corresponding S4 server to the Studio script containing it inside. And with that, we have covered the part where we can migrate successfully the data from ECC to S4 with a transformational journey where we are uploading the data, cleansing it, deduplicating it, enriching it, and then pushing it back. Thank you.
All right. So thanks, Philip. That was fantastic. And hopefully now you have a much better idea of how this combination of Automate Studio and Data360 can help you as part of your migration process as you are moving from ECC to S4HANA. Now, there's some other benefits that you're going to see just by adopting the Precisely Automate platform and this full combination. So we're going to help you optimize your business processes. Obviously, we're an automation tool with that combination of Studio and Evolve can really drive efficiencies across your entire organization. We believe very firmly in the power of citizen developers. Again, it's a no-code, low-code platform that really helps IT not be the bottleneck, but can still avoid shadow IT because you can keep the administration within your IT organization. We talked about how you can simplify SAP S/4HANA migrations. It can help you speed up product launches. We've got companies that literally or customers who've literally seen the time for a new product to get to market cut in half. And when you've got timely products, when you've got products that need to be in market in a certain time frame, it's a very, very powerful tool to be able to do that. You can achieve AI-ready data. You saw what you can get out of that combination in terms of trustworthy, accurate data every time. And ultimately, this is going to help you overall increase your IT productivity. So we believe very firmly that by adopting Precisely Automate and other parts of the Precisely portfolio, like Data360 Analyze, you can get huge benefits across your entire IT infrastructure, not just within SAP, but in other parts of the business through things like our data integrity suite and other products that we have that are going to help you for our integration, for data governance, for data visibility, enrichment, you name it, many different ways that we can help you. And ultimately, it comes down to what we can do for you. If you're just looking at automation, or you're just looking at Precisely Automate in your SAP organization, we can give you faster time to value. You can get there very quickly. We've got companies, literally customers who have bought our product on Tuesday and have been in production by Friday. That's how clean and simple you can be with citizen development in our platform. Lower total cost of ownership, greater flexibility. We know that from the ability to drive automation with citizen developers and be able to work across your entire SAP environment, and again, across all your SAP systems, it's not just the environment. Now we've got these mixed environments, and be able to do that cleanly and have your business teams work efficiently and effectively, very powerful. And then ultimately it comes down again to getting better business outcomes, where you're getting greater agility, higher data quality, and tighter compliance. Those are the things that we all strive for as businesses. So with all of this in mind, now you might have a much better idea of why we firmly believe, and I firmly believe, that Precisely and Precisely Automate are the right tools to help you and your business move forward, especially in this highly dynamic environment. And with that, let me tell you a little bit more about Precisely. So we are the leader in data integrity. We have the software, data, and consulting services that you need to get the accurate, consistent, and contextualized data that you need to really make those confident business decisions, those decisions that are data-driven. And also, now as we look forward to artificial intelligence and what it can do, you need to be able to trust what's coming out of those, what's coming out of your reporting. So we do this for companies around the world. We do this in over 100 countries for about 12,000 customers. We do it with many of the largest brands in the world. We work with many of the largest technology partners in the world. And from a size standpoint, we've got on any given day about 2,500 employees. So we have the size and the scale to be able to meet your needs and the needs of your business. And finally, I just want to thank everyone for being here. I know your time is valuable, and we definitely appreciate that you have chosen to spend it with us. So thank you very much, and have a happy and healthy day. Bye.